Now on CoastTV News.
It's a very stormy evening here along the coast. I'll be tracking the wind and rain that is moving through, coming up in just a few moments.
Across the country, we'll get some of it here, but the brunt of it, well, that's it in other different places.
Solving the lack of affordable housing options here in Milton, the new committee coming up with solutions to the issue.
Landmark decision, an iconic property on Rehoboth Beach could be turned into a hotel, and locals have mixed feelings. A drug bust at a Dover daycare, the illegal substance and weapons found while children were present.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A windy and rainy night here on Delmarva. Look at those flags blow. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with weather. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside into the Lewis area. You can really see some of what's going on here. Our first alert meteorologist, Alex Seymour, is standing by with a little bit of an explanation about what all this means.
Yeah, we certainly have a pretty stormy evening ongoing across Delmarva. The rain moved in around 8 p.m. and then it's been going on ever since then pretty heavily at times. And the winds, they've really started to pick up. We can see that out on that Irish Ice camera. This is looking across the canal over towards the lightship overfalls. You can see the lights swaying in the wind and the flag really whipping in the wind and the rain. Just a stormy evening. We're going to be dealing with this wet weather, this rain sliding through the area for the next several hours. Live radar, widespread rain across the region. Still got quite a bit of rain to go through before we start to dry out. The rain stretches back into central Virginia. That all has to move through. So we probably have another 4 to 5 hours left to deal with this wet weather. We can see that on our future radar. That rain going to continue heavy at times through 1 a.m. through about 3 to 4 a.m. before clearing out. Winds also going to be quite gusty. Currently gusting to 38 miles per hour in Georgetown. I expect those gusts to go even higher than that. We could be talking about winds gusting upwards of 50 miles per hour within the next couple of hours. So just keep that in mind. Certainly a very windy night and a very rainy night here along the coast.
Thank you, Alex. And for more weather updates, make sure you pull out the phone, scan your QR code here, and that gets you the First Alert weather app. You can download the app for free, get all the weather updates you might need. Now let's go live out to the Bay Bridge to see what the conditions are looking like. The bridge is currently under limited restrictions. That means no house trailers or empty box trailers. You can see some of the wet weather there. It makes it even hard to see what's going on the bridge. And while we are in the middle of our own First Alert weather day, there are some other parts of the country that are getting hit much worse. Millions of Americans across the entire country under weather alerts. The severe weather hitting states still reeling from earlier storms this week, as Jen Sullivan reports.
A massive winter storm is sweeping across the U.S. Weather alerts issued in every state from the West Coast to the East Coast. In Iowa, these whiteout conditions blinding drivers on I-80 just days ahead of the Iowa caucuses. Parts of the state getting up to 7 inches of snow Friday, according to the National Weather Service. 8 to 12 inches of snow dumped on the Chicago area, crippling travel Friday morning.
I've seen several car crashes.
Nearly 1,000 flights were canceled into or out of Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, according to FlightAware. And city officials say more snow is on the way, followed by below zero temperatures and minus 20 wind chills.
Our coldest weather of the season so far will arrive on Saturday afternoon and continue into next week.
As people in the Midwest dig out of the snow, the South and Northeast are bracing for a second round of severe weather this week. Many communities in northern New Jersey along the Passaic River are still underwater following Wednesday's horrific storms, which brought several inches of rain. The governor declaring a state of emergency.
I'm just stressed out and worried. Don't know where we're going to go. Very worried.
More rain and strong winds forecasted Friday night in New Jersey and New York, both states bracing for possible flooding, while parts of western New York could see 20 inches of snow.
We are expecting very serious whiteout blizzard-like conditions.
In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Breaking news tonight. There was a fire in the clubhouse at the Plantations neighborhood in Lewis. Multiple crews reporting to the scene. In fact, crews are still there, and this is a developing story. We don't know yet what caused the fire or just how much damage has been done here. There's just not enough affordable places to live in Milton, and now the town is forming a committee to try and come up with some solutions. Coast TV News reporter Charles Reinert shows us why some neighbors say it's a great step to fix a big need.
Plenty of people, not enough homes. And the Milton Town Council is searching for answers to bridge that gap.
There's a big disconnect for affordable and workplace housing.
This week, Milton Town Council approved a resolution to form an ad hoc committee to try and find solutions for this housing shortage. And Milton Mayor John Collier wants to be clear about what that means.
We're not talking about subsidized housing, which is what most people will jump to the conclusion of. We're talking about the ability for people who don't make huge salaries and don't have huge incomes to have a place to live.
The committee is made up of neighbors and town officials. Any solutions it comes up with will need to go through the town's Planning and Zoning Commission and Town Council. Matt Foley thinks it's a step in the right direction.
We're standing in front of a house where a person's lived for 60 years, and she probably couldn't afford to live here today if she had to come back here again.
Milton is far from the only town or city suffering from this type of shortage. Mayor Collier says it's a nationwide issue. But the hope is that this committee can come up with a local solution that has a tangible impact in town.
I deal with people every day in this town, and when folks who have lived here for many, many years, their lifetimes even, they raise their families, they send their kids off to school to get an education. They want to come home and they want to have a good job and they want to be able to afford to live. And they're finding that, even if they can find a decent job, they can't find a place to live that they can afford.
A committee looking to make Milton a more affordable place to call home. This committee was just formed recently, so it hasn't met quite yet. However, we will follow along to see what the committee talks about in the coming months. I'm Charles Reinert in Milton, Coast TV News.
A lot of locals call the corner property on Rehoboth Avenue an iconic spot in Rehoboth Beach. A mixed-use property was proposed for the location, which would include an upscale hotel above the existing retail space on the boardwalk level. The Rehoboth Beach Planning Commission held a preliminary review of the property plans earlier today, and people are a little divided. One local told Coast TV she was originally against the plans, but she thinks the property could use a facelift.
But then a friend and I were actually talking about it yesterday, and he reminded me that in the late 1800s there were hotels in these locations. So now I've changed my mind and I'm thinking, oh, well, restore it to how it was originally would be great.
The commission came to the decision to continue the discussion in February when more documentation from FEMA is obtained.
I'm Mallory Metzner. Here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. A drug investigation at a daycare in Dover leads to 2 arrests. Detectives say they found cocaine, crack, heroin, and more than $32,000 and 2 handguns at the business called The Little Peoples. 4 children were present during the search and were given to their guardians. To deal with a nursing shortage in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore announced he is utilizing taxpayer money to funnel nearly $3 million in grants, including to Salisbury University and Warwick Community College, in the hopes of attracting more students to this job field. Nominations are now open to honor Delaware women for their contributions to the state. The Delaware Women's Hall of Fame inductees have to have lived in the state for at least 10 years, while She's on Her Way awards recipients must have lived here for 5 years. And that's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Mallory Metzner.
We are thrilled to announce that Coast TV has a brand new Facebook page for the latest in news, exclusive content, and interactive discussions. Make sure to visit and follow our new page. Just head over to facebook.com/CoastTVNBC or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, and that is going to keep you connected with us.
Celebrating a civil rights hero and all that coastal Delmarva has to offer. Stay tuned for the cool things to do this weekend.
A very stormy night on the way to the coast. I'll be tracking the wet weather coming up in just a few minutes.
Next, rising tax burden as property values are reassessed. The bills for homeowners, those are skyrocketing. We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
Solo Cup Saturday night. It's an alternative country party with me, Jared. Brought to you by Midshore Recyclers Incorporated. Saturdays at 7 on Coast Country, 103.9 and 106.3.
Not sure what to get your Valentine this year? How about a new walk-in shower from Baths by Spicer Brothers? Right now, through February 14th, save 14% off your entire project and take advantage of no interest and no payments for 18 months. Plus, receive a set of 2 luxury bathrobes. And your new shower can be installed in as little as 1 day with factory certified 5-star installation guaranteed. Don't miss out. This offer ends February 14th. Baths by Spicer Brothers, because you deserve the best.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
The new assessed value of real property in Ocean City is more than locals expected. And as Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe tells us, that means the tax bills are too.
$4 billion. That's how much the value of real property in Ocean City has gone up since just 2021, according to the State Assessment Office. For a little simple math, if your house used to be valued at $100,000, it's now valued at around $125,000. But that means your property taxes are also going up. In our simple example, it would cost an owner an extra $115. Unsurprisingly, not exactly a popular change.
And I've been here for years, and I'm not looking forward to that. So I hope they stay the same or they can lower it.
We bought property in Ocean City probably about 3 years ago. It was a great deal at the time. Since then, we kind of got the double whammy. I just got the assessment on Monday, and our taxes will almost double. And that's on top of the condo reserve fund that also doubled. So it's kind of a hit.
To be clear, it's not that tax rates are going up. Homes, buildings, and what's called real property have just increased in value based on the market and the new assessment accounts that increase when determining an owner's tax burden.
Homes and commercial properties in Ocean City won't be reassessed until another 3 years, but Berlin and Ocean Pines will be appraised this year. I'm Kevin Zappe with Coast TV News.
Now on to the Sussex County area. Starting mid-January, expect to see Tyler Technologies data collectors in Milford, Ellendale, Slaughter Beach, and nearby areas for the county-wide reassessment. According to the company, the collectors are identifiable by their yellow vests, Sussex County IDs, and marked cars. They will be documenting property details externally. They work weekdays 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. They will not request indoor access. That's important to note. And the company says they are gathering exterior measurements and details like the number of bedrooms, types of heating systems, and construction materials. And this brings us right into our Coast TV News poll. We want to know, how do increased property value assessments affect you? Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier this evening. This was a runaway earlier today, and it seems like it's come down just a little bit more. At one point, we were seeing over 90% of people saying pay more taxes as the effect. Selling property, that's the one that's jumped here, 20%, and seek reassessment, that's down to 1%, having almost no impact at all. If you haven't voted on this yet, you still can at WRDD, or rather CoastTVnews.com, or you can use our Coast TV mobile app, and that's where you can find the results.
Well, it's a pretty stormy evening here along the coast. The rain and wind certainly impacting the region at this hour. We can hear it outside of our studio here in Milton and really all across Delmarva. We're dealing with that wind and rain. So as I take a live look out on our Tidal Health Peninsula Regional camera in Salisbury, you can see the trees swaying in the wind. The rain is really coming down. Temps, they've warmed up to about 58 degrees in Salisbury this evening. We can see on our live radar just widespread wet weather moving through the area. Some of the heaviest rain moving through Ocean View, Bethany Beach, Fenwick Island. That's going to move up along the Route 1 corridor towards Dewey Beach and Rehoboth Beach before heading out to sea. We're just going to continue to see waves of rain pass through the region over the next few hours. That rain stretches back into southeastern and central Virginia. So as this area of low pressure moves off the coast, we'll continue to deal with those waves of rain. Should clear out by about 4 to 5 a.m., but still several more hours to deal with that wet weather and also these very gusty winds. We're seeing wind gusts upwards of 48 miles per hour this evening in Salisbury, gusting to 38 miles per hour in Georgetown, 26 mile per hour wind gusts in Bethany Beach. These wind gusts going to continue to increase over the next couple of hours. So wind gusts over 50 miles per hour are expected. That could result in a few isolated power outages as these bands of rain continue to move through the area. This is 4 a.m. still dealing with that wet weather. Take a look at these temps. Actually going to be climbing up into the 60s over the next couple of hours. But if you're hoping that it stays warm tomorrow, it's not going to. We're actually going to see our temps down in the mid-50s by 9 a.m. This is now that the rain has cleared out of the area. And then we're going to start to see our winds turn to more out of the northwest as we head towards Saturday afternoon. We're going to be dry. We're going to see sunshine, but it's going to get pretty chilly. Temps in the mid-40s. Wind chills dipping down into the 30s because the winds are actually going to stay gusty throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. Winds gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour. And then we have a Arctic front passing through the region as we head towards Sunday afternoon. And take a look at that. We may actually see a band of snow develop across the region. We shouldn't see any accumulations, but it could get pretty heavy at a point Sunday afternoon as that front moves through. So that could cause some issues if you are hitting those roadways at the time that this snow squall moves through. Behind it, that's the big story, is how cold it's going to get. Take a look at this as we head towards Monday morning. We're going to be in the upper teens to low 20s. Wind chills are going to be down into the mid-teens, so it is going to get really cold as we head towards next week. And we may actually have a couple more chances of snow next week. Rainfall totals for the rest of the overnight hours, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch across the region. Winds, as I said, they are going to remain quite gusty for several more hours. Wind gusts 45 to 55 miles per hour. That continues through the overnight hours. They briefly weaken before we see more wind gusts, 35 to 40 miles per hour as we head towards Saturday afternoon. And they actually pick up again Sunday afternoon. That's as that snow squall pushes through the region. And then, as I was telling you, we actually have another chance to snow as we head towards next week. Very light snow, Tuesday. We could be picking up some accumulating snow, but it shouldn't add up to too much right now. Our Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling 7-day forecast. Wet weather clears out of the area for Saturday, but temperatures start to drop. Stays chilly on Sunday with those snow squalls. More wintry weather possible Tuesday and Friday, and it's just going to be a cold week overall here along the coast.
Well, up for this one. It is another winter weekend on the coast, but there's never a shortage of cool things to do, not even in the off-season. Coast TV News anchor Mallory Metzner highlights the annual celebrations and shows us the prizes up for grabs at some of the events.
It's Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, and there are lots of ways to honor the civil rights hero. One event doubles as a celebration of rhythm and blues. Music, history tours, and commemorative speakers will all fill the Ocean City Convention Center for the second inaugural Dream Fest. Meanwhile, the Art League of Ocean City's free Community Dream Fest celebration will be a youth art showcase of work by local school children, along with hip-hop performances and a short film showcase. Dazzling ice sculptures can be found in downtown Cambridge this Saturday for the Ice and Oyster Festival. Organizers say sculptures will be on the fairgrounds and in front of businesses. Local bartenders are going into the wild in Bethany Beach. The annual Fire and Ice Festival kicks off with a drink competition at Mango's. Attendees will vote for their favorite to crown the People's Choice Award winner. Proceeds go toward BB Healthcare's South Coastal Emergency Department and Cancer Center. The event takes place this Sunday from 12 to 3. Right now, you could enter to win a free VIP parking pass in Bethany Beach by entering a photo contest. The town says it's looking for photos of unique landmarks that show why people are drawn to the resort town. Winners selected will be printed in the Bethany Beach calendar next year. The photo with the most unique votes gets a free parking pass at any space within town limits during this coming parking season. We have details to apply on CoastTV.com. Bite into bliss in Berlin. Restaurant Week is underway. Dine out and explore this culinary odyssey through January 18th. Dine at 3 participating restaurants or more for the chance to win gift cards and $100. On Sunday, the Cape and Lopin Elks Lodge number 2540 is inviting kids 8 to 13 years old to a free-throwing basketball event at the Factory in Lewis. Those who make the most out of 25 throws in each age group will win a basketball and advance to regional, state, and national competitions. Pre-registration is not necessary. For those who have a 3-day weekend, there are volunteer opportunities for Martin Luther King Day as a day of service. The Brandywine Valley SPCA has registration open to come help out with its pets on Monday.
Brought to you by North Bay Marina, where boaters have the most fun.
Regardless of the team you support on Sundays, the joy of victory is right around the corner. So is getting an affordable, reliable new Toyota. And with plenty of vehicles in stock, there's less waiting and more saving, making now a good time to score with a great deal. Like special financing as low as 3.99% on reliable Legends, RAV4, and Highlander. It's game on at Toyota, official partner of the NFL. Toyota, let's go places.
Downtown Lewis this winter season. Lewis Gifts and Treasures open daily.
At JD Asphalt, your driveway is our reputation.
So we bring an experienced crew and state-of-the-art equipment out to every job site to ensure we deliver fast, premium results that's built to last.
JD Asphalt, built on family values
that have and will last as long as our asphalt.
Paving a path to your satisfaction. Call now and ask about our 0% financing options available for up to 18 months. JD Asphalt, a family company for over 50 years.
Monday at 4 on Coast Life. Revamp your style in 2024. Expert tips on decluttering your wardrobe and creating a timeless collection. And learn about unique courses for those over 50. Coast Life Monday at 4 on Coast TV.
Get live radar and severe weather alerts. Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app. Brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
Good news, a trip to the grocery store isn't causing as much damage to your wallet. According to the latest Consumer Price Index, food prices rose just 1.3% for the year ending in December. That is a major turnaround from the nearly 12% increase in December of 2022. In specific categories, eggs and ham prices, those went up the most in December. Meanwhile, overall prices for many fresh fruits and vegetables, those dropped. But inflation increased in December, and it is hitting renters much harder than homeowners. The shelter index was 6.2% higher year over year in December. That's partly because the cost of renting has surged, while mortgages with a fixed rate, those haven't changed. According to Realtor.com, rent is up 22% compared to pre-pandemic levels. And coming up next, giving a voice to his words, the Milford Museum hosting an event in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.
Villa Sorrento invites you and your family to join us for some of Delmarva's best authentic Italian cuisine. Experience the aroma of warm bread served at your table in a cozy atmosphere. Try seafood pescatore or pasta with grandma's gravy. Our New York-style pizza and strombolis are a local's favorite. Top it off with cocktails, wine, and dessert. So for great food, good wine, great friends, good times, Villa Sorrento. That's amore. That's a nice.
Oh, you can do that for me?
Stop hogging the new bathroom!
I'm on the phone!
Who are you on the phone with?
Alex from Peninsula Bath.
What are you wearing, Alex from Peninsula Bath?
Khakis?
And with that second bathroom, we'll give you an additional 10% off.
Mercy! That's a great deal, Alex from Peninsula Bath.
Call now to lock in your 10% discount off your second bath remodel.
Thank you, Peninsula Bath.
Sam Calagione here, inviting you to visit Dogfish this off-season. Enjoy daily specials at our locations like 12 wings for only $10 on Sundays and wood fire nights every Tuesday and Thursday in Rehoboth at Brewings and Eats. Or check out $15 lobsters on Lobster Sundays next door at Chesapeake and Maine. At Milton's Craft Brewery, visit us weekly for Monday trivia, Tuesday craft cocktail night, and more. Come explore goodness at our Dogfish locations this off-season. Cheers.
Are leaves and debris causing issues with your gutter? No need to risk climbing a shaky ladder ever again.
We have the permanent solution, Gutter Helmet, America's #1 choice in gutter protection for over 40 years. Engineered to manage the heaviest of rainfalls, letting water flow freely. And the best part, never clean your gutters again, guaranteed. The lifetime warranty is transferable, so you can rest assured that you'll never have to replace your Gutter Helmet system. And right now, save 20% on your new gutters and Gutter Helmet. Call Gutter Helmet today for your free estimate.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
Remembering Martin Luther King Jr. through his powerful words, the Milford Museum will be hosting Reverend Dr. John Moore Saturday as he presents the speeches that brought people to fight racial inequality together 55 years ago. An impact that still lasts to this day in Milford. Moore says it was MLK's charisma that motivated him to spread the activist's words.
Talked about making sure that you supported the justice movement so that we can make sure that our country was the best that it could be. So I got ignited by that. So I wanted to be a part of that. And so now, as I do these speeches, I take them to every place that I can in order to be able to keep his legacy alive, because I feel like that's what my calling is right now.
A presentation of MLK's life and more speeches from Moore will be at the Milford Public Library at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
A Bayside South rivalry matchup in boys basketball tonight. Snow Hill visiting Pocomoke. The return of Snow Hill guard Keandre Nixon to Pocomoke. First basket, fast break ahead to Nixon. Eagles take the early 2-zip lead. Later in the first, new number 14 Jameer Roberts. Look at this scoop shot, Superman dive, and 1 layup. Pocomoke takes the lead. The Birds didn't waste much time coming back though. Tyler Reddick puts his head down, driving straight to the basket, puts in 2. Then Jaden Hudson joined the fun. First, this 3 from the corner. He'd hit another moments later. In between came this basket. Hudson racing in transition, stops on a dime, pull-up cash. He had 10 in the first half. And there's a reason the Eagles are one of the top 1A teams in the state. Cam Lucas, welcome to the party. His night was just getting started, but Pocomoke hung around in the first half. Zamir Walker nails a triple, and right before the buzzer, there goes that man, Roberts, again. He led all scorers with 13 in the first half. Snow Hill up 40-30 at the half. In the second, more tempo from the Eagles. Check out this big man, the Euro step, the pretty finish. Lucas had 15 points. Defensively, Sean Johnson's guys tightened up. Roberts lay up blocked by Zaheem Kalik. Someone who didn't have trouble scoring in the second half was Michael Ames. The sophomore hit 4 threes down the stretch and did this too. How about the and one? Ames finished with 20, but Snow Hill just too much down the stretch. Eagles go on to win it 77-68. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Speaking of sports, we have playoff football filling the airwaves this weekend. Our Football Night crew in America is presenting this week's wild card weekend playoff matchup, breaking it down, the one between the Browns and the Texans.
The playoff matchups are set. Super wild card weekend. Let's talk about Browns and Texans. I know you have a man crush on the Browns defense and also on the Texans quarterback, C.J. Stroud.
I know, I'm conflicted for sure. But yeah, I mean, C.J. Stroud didn't play in the first matchup. We saw the Cleveland Browns dominate them. The Browns, I feel like, are a defense that can almost win the Super Bowl by themselves. But C.J. Stroud, we know he's dangerous, and he's going to attack down the field and make things hard on that Browns D.
Yeah, and on the other side, this Houston Texans defense, they have to figure out what went wrong. They couldn't get any stops against Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper, so that's going to be a big thing I want to see.
I think a huge part of this game for Cleveland is to run the football at these guys, take some pressure off of Flacco, and create some one-on-ones outside for Coop. If they do that, I think they have a chance to control how this game unfolds, and they can win down there.
We'll set it all up, NBC, 3 p.m. on Saturday.
A quick note as we look ahead to the NFL playoffs. Well, you can watch that Texans-Browns game at 4 here on Coast TV. The late game, the Chiefs and Dolphins rematch at 8, well, that's only going to be on Peacock. And this is our last chance to remind you of that. We also want to make it clear that this was NBC's decision, not CoastTV or Draper Media. If you want to watch that late game, you will have to pay for Peacock. There's no free way to watch it. And again, this was not our call. We do hope that you'll join us for the early game and, of course, your hyper-local CoastTV news at 11. And next, I want you to think about this. Don't look it up in your phone. Guess how much this sandwich bag costs. We're going to give you the answer right after the break.
Watch for the IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep.
When you visit the Delmarva Design Center, you'll experience a selection of appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring all together in one showroom. The 10,000 square foot location has a variety of inspiring samples for any project size or budget. Your dedicated product experts and designers collaborate to bring your dream project to life. Come and see what the kitchen industry buzz is all about. Experience the Delmarva Design Center in Selbyville, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva's coast.
For the freshest local oysters on the shore, trust Harbor House Seafood. Our harvest begins at sea, straight from the heart of Chesapeake and Delaware Bay, aboard our boats, ensuring that only the finest oysters make it from harvest to plate. With our commitment to freshness and quality, Harbor House Seafood should be your first and only stop for local oysters, fresh seafood, and premium black Angus beef. Surf and turf has never been this fresh. Harbor House Seafood, your surf and turf market in Seaford, Delaware, and online at harborhouseseafood.com.
I'll take a grande, no foam, triple cap, double pump vanilla latte with 3.5 ice cubes, slightly shaken, extra whip.
Yeah, that's going to be an upcharge.
Great! This one is on my Kasasa cashback checking account. Kasasa pays me cash back on everyday debit card purchases, plus refunds on ATM withdrawal fees. Go on, take back banking and treat yourself to monthly cash rewards.
Kasasa Checking is proudly offered at County Bank.
Do you know how it feels to change someone's life? Our caregivers do. They change lives every day by protecting the vulnerable, bringing peace to families, and helping people enjoy life once again. Because at Homewell, our caregivers provide far more than just care. They provide hope to make a real difference. Make yourself at Homewell. Apply today. Homewell Care Services. Trusted care. True compassion.
Were you calling the shots, though, Mr. President, ultimately? Was the Biden administration caught off guard by this latest surge of migrants? Is it clear who's going to govern Gaza once this war is over? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Finally tonight, here's a bag I will never own. Pharrell Williams is bringing high fashion to one of the most ordinary items imaginable, the sandwich bag. And if you have your guesses ready, I'm going to cut through the suspense. It's going for a cool $3,000. Yeah, $3,000. Williams was named the men's creative director of Louis Vuitton, and now he's created a high-end bag for the French luxury fashion house. The piece went on sale January 4th exclusively at the brand's West Hollywood pop-up store.
Yeah, I don't think I'd spend $3,000 on that. It looked like a paper bag. But all right, so we got some stormy weather on the way, or it's already here. We're going to be dealing with that for the next couple of hours. We really aren't going to see conditions start to improve until we head closer to 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning. Right now, the rain and wind really going out there on our Orsted camera in West Ocean City. Temp sitting right around 53 degrees. Southeast winds 27 miles per hour. That is sustained. We're gusting over 40 miles per hour in many locations. The good news, though, rain clears out tomorrow. Winds, though, going to remain quite gusty. Temperatures going to be falling throughout the daytime hours from the 50s in the morning into the 40s with wind chills in the 30s during the afternoon. And then it just becomes downright wintry as we head throughout the upcoming week. We've got snow squalls on the way for Sunday afternoon as an Arctic front moves through. Highs barely get above freezing on Monday. Wintry weather on Tuesday. More wintry weather on Friday and highs in the 30s majority of days.
Cold, Alex. Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next, and we're going to see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great night.